All right, YouTube, David Harry here. And you know when you get like dead buzzed up about something? That's me right now, dead buzzed up about something. And the something that I'm dead buzzed up about is this Behringer UV1. It's really starting to like really grow on me like big time, right? Anyway, what I've done, and I might already have put it up already, it was my first test just to see what the noise floor was like out of the unit, going analog, so analog out into me camera and stuff. That's got its own little issues because the camera's got its own mic input and stuff, so you're using like, you know, mic gain on a mic input and stuff like that, so that kind of that kind of signal path for gaining and stuff like that, not the best, although it does work. Anyways, I'm also using a mic here which is also really quiet. It might not be the quietest in the world, but this is a Stellar X2. Anyway, so what I thought was, well, let me plug it into Resolve and do that again. But this time what I've done, in fact, what I'll do, I'll try and zoom in here so we can see what's going on with the UV1. Now, what we should see, as long as I haven't gotten any louder since I started doing these tests, is there's about 6 dB, plus 6 dB worth of gain on the input. That might peak up to around 9, 12 or something on like big peaks and stuff. However, what it is doing there, that is not like, you know, it's not pushing it too hard or anything like that. It's just very healthy. And then moving along, what we should see with the compressor is that should be on average applying somewhere in the region of 6 dB worth of gain reduction. So that's going to be like quite healthy. It might peak up till about 9 as well. But that's just going to be dependent upon the dynamics of my voice and stuff like that. Now, when I go into Resolve, right, I've actually got a VST plugin for a limiter also on top of this signal, right? So right now, what you are hearing is the exact level as it has been recorded, right? Now, here's the cool bit. I put this LoudMax limiter on inside Resolve, right, which basically means I cannot clip the input. It's brilliant. I've done it in such a way where, like, you know, I've done the round and off thing as well, you know, for the top few dB and stuff like that, so there's no way once I set my level that it'll actually sum up and go over 0 and stuff like that. It's brilliant. So right now what you're hearing is hopefully quite a loud signal, which is done in such a way that I could reproduce this every single time I wanted to do this type of thing with this microphone, which is mega important, right? So I could just, like, you know, go to a few dials here, and there's a setting then in Resolve where I know what to do immediately, and I can reproduce this every single time. And then once I want to use a different microphone, I just kind of twiddle around with that for a bit and get the exact same thing. Anyway, so right now what you're hearing is nothing actually added on playback. This is all in the recording, right? So this is what I'm getting at. How cool is this? Where you can set something and you know that every single time you go back to it and redo the same thing, it's gonna do the exact same thing. This is absolutely amazing. So what I'm gonna do there is just like shut me trap for a few seconds and listen to how low the noise floor is. Okay, so what we should have heard there is an extremely low noise floor, right? Maybe not even non-existent really for like normal monitoring purposes and stuff like that. Now, earlier on when I'd already done this other test to test the preamp, obviously with that being an analog output, and then that's also like dependent upon what it's going into, as in the camera, you are going to get variations with these setups for stuff like that. However, now because it's going digitally into the Mac, into Resolve, there's going to be like no extra, like, you know, analog process after any of the processing that's occurred within the actual processing chain here. So again, mega quiet, I think. Now here's the cool thing, check this out. So right now, This is now the level without the summing up, like, you know, limiter that I've used as well. So right now what we're hearing is just the compression and stuff going on here, which is still going to be mega healthy, but without the extra limiting. Now the limiting that I've got going on is set in such a way, like I say, I've got it so it's got the ISP round off at the top, so I definitely can't be clipping into the 0 mark. But it has also given me an extra plus 6 dBs worth of gain reduction on top of whatever this is doing. Not right now, because I've just bypassed it for this part of the recording. So let me just go quiet again with this. Okay, now the first silence that I did before with it all in, that should have been quite quiet or very quiet. And then what I've just done there is definitely 6 dB quiet, a minimum. I say minimum because although it says 6 dB worth of gain reduction, that's when it's being slammed. So when it's not being slammed, that gain reduction is quite possibly a fair bit lower than 6 dB anyway. But nonetheless, what we should be hearing here is like a really cool signal. Actually, wait a minute. Now I've gone back to adding the what's named the limiter, you know, inside the timeline as it was at the beginning. Okay, anyway, like I say, I'm just dead buzzed up and testing a whole bunch of things, right? Now, the thing is, I've just ordered a Rode NT1, so I'm going to be doing all this again with the NT1 and stuff. I mean, this isn't like a proper how-to video or not, so I'm going to have to dive into a whole bunch of that, especially to do with using it with Resolve. And don't forget, you don't have to be on a Mac to do this. You do this on Resolve on a PC. I think you can go on Linux as well with Resolve. And because this unit here it doesn't require drivers, basically it's a class compliant audio interface, and I'm fairly sure you can use it on Linux as well. So yeah, it's just awesome, all kinds of awesome going on here. So what I'm going to do, I might now even buy a what's the name as well, an SM7B. I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm just going to be going too mad if I do that, but nonetheless there's going to be a bunch of mics coming up and setups and stuff like that. But hopefully what I've done here is to give people an idea of if you want that loud sound without too much messing around, right? And don't forget, there's nothing done in post here, nothing at all, because it's all done during the recording. Okay, I did bypass something just before, but that was not a post, that was not like a post-production thing, as it were. Do you know what I mean? This is all done during the recording. It's awesome. And then, like I say, I'll try a few different mics and stuff like that and whatnot. I just think that this could be really awesome for, like, you know, people to, like, you know, you want that definite loud kind of like close mic podcasty vloggy whatever thing. Anyway, I'm going to shut my trap now because I want to go and test some more stuff. And don't forget, I haven't even bothered testing anything else, like, you know, the enhancement stuff and the gating and all that kind of stuff that's actually on the UV1. And oh yeah, just dead quick, from my test so far, the analog output, that's going to be variable because it depends upon where you're going to and what you're recording with and stuff like that. But absolutely, when I come out digitally and stuff like that, the signal chain on this is really, really quiet. And hopefully you've heard that during those silence portions anyway. Okay, look, if anyone's caught this video and stuff, let me know in the comments what you think of this. And I appreciate, this might be, I don't know if it's too loud or whatnot, but let me know what you think of the loudness and stuff like that. But just to reiterate the point again, this is something that you can do on the way into the recording without any more messing around afterwards. And as soon as you've kind of like done a few test recordings with whatever mic you're using and going into whatever like right recording system, whether that be an NLE or a DAW, doesn't matter. But once you've got all that set up, you can definitely just mark off your settings and then get something which is 100% consistent every single time you do a type of recording, especially for YouTube and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm going to get off because I need to test some more stuff. I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.